Hi everyone, Derolo Nixon Jr. from Nixon Disability Law coming to you again for our second installment of our Veterans Month campaign to educate people about veterans and how great they are and what they've done for our society and for our country, and also talk about some of the needs that they have. Okay, so today is day 2 and we're going to focus on key statistics about veterans. Now, does anyone out there know how many veterans there are right now? Those are some good suggestions, good answers. So, depending on which statistics you follow, there's somewhere between 16.2 and 18.3 million U.S. military veterans alive right now. However, they're not spread evenly throughout the various periods of service in our nation's history over the last 80 years. Yes, 80 years, there are still some World War II veterans around, which is amazing. Anyway, the majority of living U.S. veterans served during the Vietnam era. Now, when did the Vietnam era begin? The Vietnam era actually began right around the time of the Korean conflict. So the Vietnam era began in 1950 and ran through 1973. Okay? So the majority of living U.S. veterans served during that time frame. The majority that falls into that group are men who are older than 75 years old. And so that's the largest block of living U.S. military veterans. The second largest block are Gulf War veterans. And if you believe some of the research, Gulf War veterans are actually a larger group. But when I saw the two conflicts in the statistics, I did some digging and I discovered that on the one hand, one of the research outlets separated the Korea War veterans from the Vietnam veterans, even though they technically fall within the same time frame, okay? Because the Vietnam era runs from 1950 to 1973. Second, what they did is they lumped all Gulf War veterans in the same group. So that meant if you were involved in Desert Shield or Desert Storm in the early 90s, they lumped those in with the people who fought in Operation Iraqi Freedom, Operation Enduring Freedom. They threw them all together. So I didn't think that was actually fair. And so I prefer the first outfit I went to, their statistics. So the largest block, it's Vietnam era veterans who are men who are over 75. Now, what percentage of the U.S. population today are veterans? Today, it's only about 6% of the U.S. population who are veterans. And one of our future episodes will deal with the impact on the community of having such a small amount of community members who are veterans. We're going to focus on that actually, and the community needs that veterans have in another post. Anyway, now, you may be aware that the Department of Veterans Affairs owns and runs the largest hospital network in the United States, okay? It's the largest healthcare network in the United States. There's more than 1,500 facilities, so it easily dwarfs everyone else, even the private ones, okay? However, less than 4% of the U.S. population receives VA health care, okay? And so that's men, women, or children, because of course veterans are allowed to have, veterans who are eligible for VHA care are allowed to have family members who also receive medical coverage. So the amount who actually receive that medical coverage, though, in terms of the entire U.S. population is less than 4%. So these are some key statistics about veterans. Stay tuned. We're going to talk about other veterans-related issues in a moment. Thanks.